Listen, man. Listen, we got some serious breaking news to discuss involving LaMelo Ball, NB1, the one of one. We all knew this was coming, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot believe what I'm hearing right now. The Charlotte Hornets are about to move LaMelo Ball. We all knew that it, listen, man, it is, they're going to have to do what they have to do at this point. They done already, rung the alarm. They want LaMelo Ball out of here. It seems like nothing that LaMelo could have done could have, shook anything. These people want to move on, and as Melo fans, we got to just let them do what they got to do at this point, man. Shams has came out and said that LaMelo Ball is on the block. The Hornets have put him on this is crazy. You,
Are strongly pursuing LaMelo Ball right now.
there's multiple teams, strongly pursuing LaMelo Ball. The Hornets are fielding offers right now. This is crazy. Teams such as Minnesota, Toronto as possible suitors. Multiple teams are strongly pursuing LaMelo Ball right now. The Hornets are engaged. Ball does want to be in Charlotte. If the price is met, he could very well be on the move. So I mean, they had this is crazy, y'all. Melo is on his way out, possibly in Charlotte. Listen, I believe he's gone. They're gonna have to trade LaMelo Ball at this point. They not the alarm has been rung. They have to do it. They have to do it. It's crazy, man. I can't believe that LaMelo, after the season that he had, with the Hornet, he did a lot. He really did. They never appreciated him anyway. I mean, LaMelo need to go to a team where they're gonna appreciate, his talents. He don't have to sit here and just kiss up like he has to be in Charlotte. They haven't done anything. It's time to win anyway. And Charlotte look acting like they're gonna be able to do something better without him. So shit, let them do something better without him. Let them see what they could do. I mean, when Melo wasn't in the fold, it didn't bold out too well. They drafted a point guard. This is why I'm saying I said earlier, you know, these Hornets, man, you would think that when they drafted this point guard, he was going to be the backup. But I knew, and if anybody got the video that we put out earlier, I said it was some kind of sinister shit possibly brewing, with them getting the point guard. There were other needs on this roster. Now, I understand the backup shit they tried to promote, but come on, man, what the hell was you doing getting a guard, in the draft? I mean, sir, we need centers. We need size, pause. This was crazy. Point blank. I mean, they obviously I believe it's a Charles Lee move. Charles Lee and LaMelo, they are not the most fond of each other. I know that they say all the right things politically, but you can just look. There's some smoke going on. That last game in the play-in, he damn near benched LaMelo Ball. I'm telling you, he done benched Melo several times this season. So I mean, he clearly doesn't believe in LaMelo, very much, unless when he's just going and when he's on. But I could see Charles Lee saying, I can't go another season with this. It's time to move on. They ready to put other guards in there and run their own system, and it works out for them. This is why they're able to keep their jobs. Because if they got LaMelo there, they're gonna be tasked to win. Now without LaMelo in the fold, they could bullshit. They could sit there and go on their own time. They couldn't do that, before, if you have LaMelo in there. But I mean, it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. The Charlotte Hornets know what they have to do. They know what they have to do, and they're gonna move LaMelo Ball. This is what are they gonna get for him? I said I wanted to see Melo in Minnesota. I was one of them people who definitely was an advocate of that. Listen, teams are desperate, man. People that missed out on shit. You have stars who have gone. Jalen Brown, you don't know what's going to happen. So people are going to be contacting stars that might be in question. And LaMelo has always been in question with the Charlotte Hornets, y'all. So this is big time news going on right now with the Charlotte Hornets, man. LaMelo Ball is on the trade block. The Charlotte Hornets are fielding offers right now. The Hornets are engaged with multiple teams, and it's aggressive talk. So Melo could be moved as early as right now in the morning, but this is crazy. that the Hornets have decided to move in this direction. But like I said, Lamelo need to go to a team that's going to appreciate his services. They don't appreciate you here. They don't showed you that several times. Move on. I don't understand what's this thing with Charlotte that you have to be there. I mean, what is this all about? That you have to be in Charlotte. You don't. Charlotte is doing absolutely nothing. Seriously, I understand that they was scratching and they're going to regress. Peterson and these guys, they're not ready to compete. They want to be at this shit. They want to be in the same position that they've been in. The Hornets are going to be done without Lamelo. This is going to affect Brandon Miller. I believe that if they move on from Lamelo, they're going to have to move on from Brandon Miller. They all, a lot of these people. I don't know why they feel like Miller is their guy. Miller was a part of the regime with Jordan, with Kupchak. That was their pick. Before we get to the legendary Pope B. Frank, I just want to add that on. You know, that was not that. I don't know what they're thinking that removing Lamelo is somehow going to enhance Brandon Miller and Khan. I believe it's going to mess up Brandon Miller. And they're going to have to move on. I think that Miller, Bridges, that's the nucleus of. I think they are like a band. I'm telling you, it's gonna be just Khan and company. I mean, when it's all said and done. Pope, we got breaking news in the NBA. LaMelo Ball is on the trade block. This is breaking right now. What the hell is going on, Pope? What's your thoughts on this situation, man? Multiple teams, the Hornets are engaged, and things are moving aggressively. What's up, man?
This is a beautiful day for the
Oh,
NBA. Very smart on their behalf. Very smart all the way around the board. I agree with them putting him on the trade block at the time. First of all, the Charlotte Hornets, uh, they're never going to be a championship contending team. That's not what they're around for. They're just around just to fill the void of teams in the NBA, right? Like they're dumpster fire. And every time they start to get a squad, when they got Grandma Ma, Larry Johnson, they had Alonzo Mourning, they had, they had a legit championship contending team, uh, and they broke it up because that's not what they're here for. They want the superstars to be where the superstars should be, where it be more entertaining, more exciting for the league. Being in Charlotte and putting them on national TV, the way you do a Denver Nuggets or Lakers or New York Knicks or Miami Heat or some of that stature.
I want to. Oh, speaking of Miami, what about Melo? I don't want to rush them. Keep going, Pope. Pardon me. Yeah.
No, don't trip because I'm about to get to that real quick. I'm about to get to all of that,
You
all
know
the
where you know where
potential.
I was going. Go ahead.
Yeah, all the potentials because I think Pat Riley, them not having no guards and having Bam and Giannis, they for sure probably gonna try to do whatever it takes to get a Lamelo Ball over there to make that three-headed monster formulate. So that's maybe what this is about. This may be just about because to me, I didn't even think it made sense for Giannis. I was sitting there like, why would you want to go to Miami, nigga? Like, what you want? You want some Instagram hoes or something? Like, what? Because they ain't got no championship type team. They just got Instagram model bitches out there. So is that why you want to go over there, fuck with the hoes? And I doubted it. I mean, I'm like, nah, that ain't why you want to go there. So I'm like, okay, the Heat must have something up their sleeve, and that's what I said. Like before I even heard about this trade, I'm like, they must got something up their sleeve because now they ain't got no guards. You got rid of Hawkins, Tyler Hero. You got rid of your good guards, perimeter players that you had. So uh, I think that's probably the most likely to happen is him going to Miami.
I will. That's a good move.
Yeah, that'd be smooth, definitely. Having two bigs like that with Melo who can run and gun, that'd be dangerous, indeed. And I had a Heat for sure.
I'm hearing what this. I'm hearing Minnesota, Toronto. What you
I,
think?
I Yeah, no, I think the league know it's time to put Lamelo Ball on a spotlight. He hasn't had the spotlight his whole entire career, being buried over in Charlotte, and now he doing these one-legged threes and all kinds of shit. this nigga that elevated his game to some must-see TV that should be on display every other night type situation. So they like, okay, it's time to move him somewhere where it makes sense, where we can capitalize off of LaMelo's play, his style play, his entertaining play.
Yeah, this is just devastating to me on a
And, and
whole
the and
thing.
the Hornets is still going to be relevant. See, it was the perfect time.
Yeah,
It's the perfect time because you can get rid of Melo. They still got Kobe White, nigga, who nasty and can be a starter for a lot of teams at the point guard positions. So you still got him. Miller's only going to get better. Kinda Don is going to get better, and then you're going to get something for Lamelo. So to have the Bates and that big tall that they roster is kind of smooth. It's like the perfect time to get rid of a Lamelo who on their books is 200 million plus, and so it's like, okay, let's free up that and let's add depth to go along with Don, Kobe, White, and Brandon Miller. Uh, and they'll still be somewhat relevant, 7, 8 seed, play in 9, 10 seed at least.
yeah. You think so? I'm predicting a regression from Miller. I think that Miller may be affected if they don't bring in the right guard. If they don't, if they, and which I don't believe that they will. If they couldn't get free agents or people to come play with Melo, why would they come play with Khan and them? So I just want to think. Do you think that Miller could possibly? They may have to be dealing with a disgruntled player. Because they didn't draft Miller. They drafted, I think, just about everybody else but him. And I think
Oh, they
Miller.
definitely drafted Miller. They drafted him. What was
No,
he?
no, no. The
Second or
Hornets
third?
drafted. I'm talking about Peterson and company. They wasn't there. That was Kupchak who drafted Miller.
Oh yeah, but Miller have shown
You think
significant
he's gonna be able to?
upside.
I know,
Nah,
I know
he
that he's no. I know he's a beast. The dude is gonna be a problem. But you
nah,
don't.
he's a
I'm
problem.
just talking about. Do you feel like he may be a little upset if they move on from Lamelo, especially after the season
No,
that they had? They was knocking on the door. But go ahead.
and yeah, no, I don't think so. First and foremost, this is gonna be Khan team, not Miller's. Uh,
Mm,
Khan is gonna be the one that's gonna really be the leader of this ship, and they know that. Khan don't just like when people was kind of hesitant on Khan when like at Duke and Cooper went down and motherfucker even myself I'm like damn we ain't gonna fucking win the ACC title because we ain't got Coop, and that's when Khan showed me like you got me fucked up. Like I'm him, like I do me regardless, and I think that is Khan. I think he took a back seat last season just because of Lamelo Miller. I think he could have even done more, to be honest, because he don't need nobody to get him a bucket. Yeah, Melo made it easier, but Khan can go get a bucket on every level, mid range, long range, in the paint. He can get a bucket every level, and it ain't like he can't handle the ball. He can handle the ball good enough to get to his spots, whether it's the elbow, whether it's whatever. So I think Khan is going to emerge more than even Miller. But Miller is
mm.
going so you got a two-headed monster that in Miller and him. And again, you got to think about Jacoby White is a killer. He's a killer. So they don't even need to like kind of fill the void of, oh, we need a point guard if we get rid of Melo. They could actually trade Melo for all kind of other pieces and more draft capital or whatever the case may be. But shit, them dudes are straight. I ain't gonna even hold you. That's scary.
Listen, I think
Melo,
that.
Jacoby
Listen,
White, and Miller. That's scary.
let me tell you something. This dude, my man Anthony Edwards, he coming for Melo, man. He want to play with Melo, and I want to see him in Minnesota, man. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I do. They got to do something in Minnesota. They have to. And I'm trying to figure out who they're gonna get. For who they gonna move Lamelo for in Minnesota. Is it McDaniels? I mean, who is the Hornets gonna be getting? Oh, the Hornets gonna get some. They're gonna get that kid. Who's that young player? Damn, the young player who was starting when dude got hurt. Then DiVincenzo got hurt. He got drafted. He just y'all know who it is. I gotta find out who that young player was. And he was on the post game podium with Ant Edwards. He gonna be in that deal. You better book that. I'm gonna find out who that young player is. The Timberwolves. But yeah, they
Yeah.
got who?
No, go ahead. I don't know what you're talking about,
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna find out. Right, I'm gonna remember his name. So I don't remember his name by heart. They just drafted this dude too. Shannon, Terrence Shannon. He gonna be in that deal. The Hornets are gonna get Terrence Shannon if they get if he go to Minnesota. That's a fact. I'm trying to think who else they got over there. That's a young player that you would even want. The Hornets, they need a big. So you're gonna get Rudy Gobert. You probably gonna get Terrence Shannon, Rudy Gobert. It's probably gonna be some shit. In that deal. So let's see. I mean, let's see what happens. I think it's gonna look something like that if you go into Minnesota. Because you want to keep him with McDaniels. That's Edwards' dude. He don't want McDaniels out of there. I'm pointing out Minnesota because the reports are saying that Minnesota and I believe the Raptors are moving, pretty strong. So let's see what happens. I mean, I
I'll
don't
be
want him in Toronto.
I'll
I
be
would hate him in
disappointed.
Toronto.
I'll
That
be
would suck.
disappointed if he goes to the Raptors. That'd be
At this point, we might as well get
right.
ready for disappointment because that seems like all we've been getting now. So, that would be disgusting. Him and Miller. I mean Ingram.
I would
Oh my
hope
god,
that
they're
because
gonna
we
yeah,
might see it. Don't leave New Orleans out to play. They got a lot of pieces that they could move around.
yeah.
Uh, uh,
Murphy. You want to get Murphy. You want to try to get Dr. Herb. If you can get Herb and Murphy, I think that's the deal.
yeah, you talk about them, and then you may be able to do some dealings with Atlanta. Uh, they got a young squad over there, some young guns, but I wouldn't like none of that. I would. The only thing I would like is the Heat or Minnesota. I mean, there'll be a championship contending team just because you got Anthony Edwards. I just don't like Anthony Edwards. So I'm not an Anthony Edwards fan. I'm super against Anthony Edwards. He's a good player though,
Right.
but I would rather have Melo around. If Denver Nuggets can pull it off, and that's who should be fighting for him the most. And because they don't, you can fade Jamal Murray and Melo damn near straight up, and that'll give you another guard to go with Jacoby White just in case injuries, because Jacoby didn't have some injury issues throughout his career. So and Jamal Murray, shit, to be honest, but if the Denver can pull that off and put Melo with Jokic, that's what I would want the most. That's championship damn near. that's that's gonna be tough. Just know that'd be hard to guard. But don't sleep on who else I wouldn't sleep on. I wouldn't sleep on Dallas, putting him with Cooper Flag, like putting that show together. Cooper Flag, LaMelo Ball, that'd be nuts. uh I just had somebody else that was crazy in mind. Denver, Dallas, or Clippers. Clippers don't sleep on that either because Melo would love to play in LA. Which they had to put a team around them, but yeah, Clippers that'd be a good look. I'm going Denver though, man.
Listen, this is crazy. Like I said, the reports are saying Lamelo wants to be in Charlotte. So this is clearly the organization pushing him out. They want they ready to get rid of this guy. I truly believe that. Him
You
and
do,
yeah, I don't. Why the
or
hell
you,
would
or
they?
do you think it's time? Like it's time,
No,
brother.
I could agree with that. No, I could. It's time for. I just think it's time for Melo to win. But I understand where you're going with it. You know, you want to see Melo in a good situation in a big city, a big
He
market.
in. I love the Charlotte Hornets new team. He in a good situation. I think they can grow together and make it work. But it's the Charlotte Hornets. That's the thing. We all like Melo made the Charlotte Hornets something. They were nothing until Melo got there. And now that they back to a little bit of relevancy, like they was when they had Larry Johnson and Zoe Morning, and they not even on that level at all. But they back to looking good to watch, having some young players that's nice like that with Con and Brandon Miller. And it's like, okay, look, we not gonna win no championship next 2 seasons, 3 seasons, even with said roster. And we're not getting no free agencies to come over here, no top notch free agents. So we have to make a move. We gonna have to make a move in order to listen. To also, because they're gonna want draft. They gonna want some draft picks for LaMelo Ball and a player or two. But it's gonna be mainly draft picks. So we got some youngsters here under contract. Give us a few draft picks and another player to go along with what we got, and we'd be cool with being under the radar, ninth, 10th seed, eighth seed, possibly seventh seed at best. Uh, and 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 we'll just keep doing what we've been doing, stand doing nothing, and let Melo go and possibly be in contention. Because trust me, the league, no, I think this is not even a Hornets thing. I think this is a league thing. It's like, yeah, now it's time. You niggas then got your players, you got a few players. Okay, good. Let's get Melo in a market that makes sense for the league. Cause y'all the dumpster franchise. So we need to put LaMelo where it's relevant. Like he gonna be in the playoffs. Like LaMelo ain't been in the playoffs his whole career. Can you imagine LaMelo Ball, his style of play in a 7 game series? That's gonna come on, man. That's gonna boost the league. So I think this is a smart move on everybody. As long as he go to the right place.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. They're trying to trade Melo.
Yeah, he's supposed to. Like where Larry Johnson go after he blew the Hornets up, had them popping? Where'd he go? Knicks. He went to where it made sense. Right now, you see Larry Johnson on the bright light stage, night in, night out. Where's Zoe Morning go when he left? Heat. It's like you
He's
know,
still. He's a he.
yeah, yeah,
That's how
and
it
the
went
niggas,
down. That's how it went down.
yeah. So it's like, yeah. Once you okay, we drafted you niggas, y'all rose to superstardom. Okay, Charlotte ain't the place for superstardom. We like to put our superstars in New York, Miami, LA, Dallas, shit that looks sexy.
Right. Where do you want to see Lamelo if he's moved? I'm saying I want to
He,
see him either. Yeah, I want to see him in Miami first, or Minnesota. I mean, outside of Miami, give me a second one. It was
he
Denver.
Denver, Denver,
Yeah, yeah,
Denver.
yeah.
Really, my
Miami better
first
than
one. They both like neck and neck, but because Giannis been having injury issues uh, as of recent. But yeah, you put
why
Melo
Denver?
with Jokic.
You
Oh
got Murray
shit,
there. What about Murray?
that's the trade, sir.
Oh, okay. You be moving Murray. Oh,
You
yeah.
moving Murray. That would make perfect sense because he's not a superstar, right? But he's a good player. So you put him over there with Khan, Brandon Miller, and Jacoby White and them boys. Y'all still stay relevant. And so I think Denver, if they give up a Jamal Murray and
What
a
about
first rounder or
yeah,
something like that, two
San
second
Antonio?
rounders.
What
Now
about
San Antonio.
Fox? Fox
San
might be
Antonio.
on the move.
Yeah, but you got Castle and Harper. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you don't need to be there. Melo need to go somewhere where the deck is clear. I'm tired of the Ball brothers playing with multiple guard. No other point guard in the league is dealing with this kind of shit. Well, possibly San Antonio a little bit, but Not much,
Yeah.
when you're dealing with something like that, where a point guard is drafted and you dealing with all these guards, they always got guard play. Like what? I knew something was wrong last night when they drafted a guard. You know what I mean? I just like, what the fuck is? I didn't understand that.
Oh yeah, because that's because they knew they was putting Melo on the trade block.
Yeah, you could have got a backup. You could have got a backup in free agency.
See, and
You
I
might
think
have had
with
your backup.
Jacoby
Right.
White showing up and showing out the way he did
You got to get
once he
paid.
got there, that made it that stamped it. That was like, okay, yeah, we can be good. We can be smooth because, like I said, you're not like we minusing Melo and get nothing. It's no, okay, we got a starting point guard who can start for a lot of teams in Jacoby White. And motherfucker's a straight bucket. Like he don't need Melo to pass to him to go get a bucket. That nigga's a bucket. Right? I was amazed. Like, yeah, this nigga is a killer. Like, I was sitting back watching like Jacoby. I usually call him Jacoby. I started calling him Kobe for a sec. But Miller, he impressed me. He showed me that he can get his buckets and get to his spots without Melo too. And Khan, I've been in awe of Khan since his Duke days. So yeah, I believe because I'ma still fuck with the Hornets. Like I fuck with Khan Knipple and I fuck with Brandon Miller now just on the strength of he proved me wrong. So you proved me wrong. I ain't gonna hate against you. You proved me wrong, and you end up being nicer than what I thought. I actually gonna respect you more because that was the same kind of shit what I did with Kobe. I didn't respect Kobe at first in the league, coming in the league, trying to take Mike's swag, chewing gum like Mike, walking like Mike, taking Mike's fadeaways and all kind of shit. I'm like, you little young whippersnapper, nigga, you ain't no Mike, no fake ass Mike. And he proved to me that, yeah, nigga, I ain't Mike, but I'm the closest thing to it. He proved that to me. And so that made me an even bigger fan of Kobe's. So,
Yeah, let's see what happens. It's gonna be interesting to see. I want to see. At this point, Lamelo's got to be moved. I don't think they're gonna be able to pull back from this. I don't know. I think that they're gonna have to move him. And teams, like I said, they missed out on guards. We don't know what's gonna happen with John Morant. So it's a lot going on. But I am surprised that they are doing this with LaMelo. It was talks even in the season, some breaking news. LaMelo had to deny trade rumors in the middle of the season. I don't
right,
know
yeah, they
how
was
that
trying
even
to do it
came out.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he had to come out and say, "I never said that." So I believe seeds were being planted earlier. They've been trying to flip this. For it's to the point where you're gonna have to come out and say, "I want out." They've been asking LaMelo, just come out and say you want out so we can move you, but he ain't been doing that. What he been doing was the total opposite. He bought into the system. I mean, he ended up he showed a lot of maturity. I just felt like they ran out of time. I think if they had more time, they would have made the playoffs. They ran out of time. And if you the Hornets, isn't this the best time to trade him? Is his value? Do they probably feel like his value might not get no higher? Look at the way they finished the season. They might be able to get a low haul for him right now. That's probably what they thinking. So
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you damn Skippy. It's smart business on, like I said, for everybody because now his trade value is skyrocketed. He didn't play the most games in his career this season, so he's shown that he back healthy, he's stronger, he faster, he better, all of that. Like this year proved that Lamelo is him. So his value is at all time high right now. You gonna have that's why they put him on the block right now because now it's like, all right, let's hear these offers.
Facts.
Let's hear these offers. Talk to us. And so niggas about to be calling them, ring, ring, ring. You say Lamelo's available? It's gonna be ring, ring, ring. And if the NBA is smart, this was gonna tell me that this was more so like an NBA altogether in move if he actually ends up on the championship contending team. That's gonna tell me it's a all This is a all in NBA move. Let's get Lamelo because he's a superstar for real, for real. One of the best in the league, one of the most exciting players. Let's put him on that stage. And we're not gonna put they don't want to put Horn. Think about it too. The league they keep the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, which is the main thing is the main thing. Always really top uh franchises. Miami Heat is in the championship, or Boston Celtics, or Lakers, and now they didn't have the Thunders in there, and San Antonio Spurs is always around there as well. Golden State just creeped in a few years ago with Steph and them, but it's really always the same motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like not the Hornets. Like we ain't about to have the Hornets creep in and have LaMelo waste. Them niggas probably don't even make the playoffs again next year. Who knows? So if he end up on the Raptors with some bullshit like that, then yeah, they still screwing
Yeah, they
LaMelo.
got. It'd be nice to send Melo to a real good place. Instead of just shipping him off anywhere, send him to a place where you'll be set up for winning. Like even what Sacramento did with Fox. They sent him to the Spurs. You just left Sacramento, which was just horrible, to a well-oiled machine organization. I want to see Melo, coached by an elite head coach, have a elite front office. That's what I want to see. If he went to Miami to play in that system, I can't explain to you what that would do for him. I mean, we would be looking at a different basketball player. In my humble opinion. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no doubt. I just think Lamelo is smarter than the average, even though Lamelo is just smarter than the average. It wouldn't matter what he know how to pick up shit, whatever it is you want to throw at him. He know how to do it. I just think Lamelo. No, this is why I'm hesitant right now because I wouldn't be surprised. Who did you say the Thunder picked up in the draft?
Who?
Who did you say the Thunder picked up in the draft?
The Thunder. They got damn. I forgot who the fuck
The
is.
Thunder, they picked up a center, correct?
Yeah, I forgot his name though. Oh, I'm
Okay.
tripping. Yeah, he was a 7'3" dude.
7'3" center, right?
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if they make a Chet Holmgren LaMelo Ball trade.
Come on. You think so?
And they put LaMelo with Shea Gilchrist and Jay Will and them niggas over
Hey, listen. Send him somewhere. Send him something.
there.
Whatever it takes to win. Whatever it takes to win.
Don't be surprised they put LaMelo and the Thunder gonna make a
That
move.
seems like a long shot though.
Hey, listen, not really. Their contracts match up. They both youngsters. I think the Thunder need another guard like that. The little guards they got is cool. Besides Shea Gilchrist, they cool. They make little open jumpers and shit like that. Uh, but nigga, Lamelo. Because then what you gonna do with Shea? Like he gonna get shit. You gonna have Lamelo having Shea wide open? Get the fuck out of here. That's the league can hang it up. They put look, the Thunder might be Prestige. Them niggas is smart. They like listen. And then you got J Dub,
Yeah.
J Will over there as well too, and the other J Will. And yeah, they got players, man. They got a lot of players over there for real. And so with Chet Holmgren, what they seen with him when they come to Wimby or something, he gets shitted on. When he come to certain niggas, he disappear in the playoffs sometimes. So they might be looking at him like, we paying you all this money, my nigga, and you be disappearing when it come to certain players in certain times in the playoffs. And so they got a 7'3" nigga. What? Put LaMelo with this new 7'3" nigga, man, with Shea Gilchrist, J Dub, both of the Jason Williams, whatever. Oh, yeah. I could see it. And the Hornets would love it. You give me Ted Holmgren with Con Knipple, Jacoby White, Brandon Miller, nigga, let's run.
So speaking of the Hornets, what are they targeting? Players, draft picks? What would you be looking for in the Melo trade?
Both, because he worth it. I need a
How
player.
many picks? How many picks? What we
It,
talking?
well, it depends on the player. Depends if it's Denver and you give me Jamal Murray. I'm gonna need a first and a second along with it. I'm gonna need a first and a second. If it's Chet Holmgren for Lamelo, just give me Chet in the second.
Giannis just went for 3 picks, so Melo good for at least 1 or 2, right? Maybe
Yeah,
nah,
that's what I'm
2 is
saying.
high. 2 is high. You think?
No, I mean it just depends on the player. If
Right.
it's Chet, if it's Chet, just give me one. Just give me a second. Give me Chet in a second, nigga. Let's work because
Nah, no first.
no, nigga, you got Chet Holmgren. Nigga, Chet Holmgren. Come on, no, you got a defensive player of the year candidate. Hell no, I'm giving you a 7'3" shooting, rim protecting, rim running. No, you be lucky I give you this second. Shit, Chet is a champion. Yeah, I'm giving you a champion on top of that, nigga. Well, yeah, Lamelo got stats and flash, but nigga, this nigga
Yeah,
got rings.
yeah. He
You
said
know,
no. Yeah. No, that's facts, though. I feel you.
that's what his age. That's what they'll be able to argue. Like, nah, nigga, you getting Chet. So if it's Chet, then yeah, Chet, and I'll try to work in a second. Let me get a second round at least, motherfucker. Then, all right, come on. I mean, Ted, because my argument back could be, yeah, he shrinks in the fucking playoffs. So, you know,
Yeah, you
fuck
definitely need
you,
somebody who could play with Khan, who compliments him.
nigga. Chet go good over there, man, with Debate, and because Debate will still be able to be in the paint and rebounding, and then you got Chet who can spread the floor and be on the three. Yeah, they still can run their pick and roll shit and let Jacoby and
Bridges will
Condon
be
work
gone. I wouldn't be surprised if Bridges is out of there like soon. I think
out
it's
of
just
there.
the beginning.
Oh, they get rid of Melo. Now they about to clean house. They gonna
Yeah,
clean
yeah, it's
house.
over. And
Yeah,
that
they
was a
build it
coach that he
around
had.
them four young niggas, bro. Con, Miller, Debate, and that tall center nigga they just drafted. They been them the four niggas right there. They staying. Everybody else can go. From Grant Williams to Josh Green, everybody else can go. But I'm pretty sure they gonna keep a lot of them because they good pieces. So but a Miles Bridges, oh yeah. You can go too.
Yeah, he's
Melo,
out of there. He's a
he
package.
out of there.
This is gonna be funny to see, man. It's gonna be interesting. They got a lot of young talent. Let's see what happens. I just don't think that they're better without Lamelo, but they're gonna be looking in a different direction, and I think it buys them time because this team hasn't made the playoffs. They haven't done much of anything. Melo was the spearhead when he bought into the system. That's when you seen the team go up.
Right.
So it's kind of trash that something like that took place. We got a guy in the chat, NDW. What's the deal? It's Flight Sports.
Hi, how y'all doing?
We good?
I asked that question last night with a super chat. It was kind of relevant. It was just something that came up, like Melo to the Warriors. So I
Mhm.
was like, if he can get somewhere where he can get his respect and he start winning, put him in the right situation, I think he'd be best for him because he's been there 6 years. They've been trying to develop and get talent in. Nobody's coming there. You literally have to use your draft capital to bring someone there, whether they like it or not. As long as you have a decent team around, so whoever is there, still there to start winning. So I think it's just best overall for him to go if he
Yeah.
wants the recognition and respect.
I, I
But
like
also,
I, like I like the Warriors. I'm gonna let Pope get to that in a second. The Warriors was a team that I believe he probably should have originally been drafted at. If it wasn't due to politics, you had Steve Kerr and LeVar and that whole dynamic. So I
mhm.
mean, I think that led to possibly them picking Wiseman. You know, so I mean, it is what it is. So let's see what happens. You got Curry. He's desperately clamoring for some kind of star talent, something. I think that he's probably looking for something more veteran, like probably like a LeBron or Kawhi or. But if they can only get Lamelo, and I don't think that would be something bad that he would be upset about, and that could bode well for the future of Golden State, if they wanted to go that way. But I don't know if they get Melo to. I don't know. They got. I don't want to. They got Butler there, so I don't know how they're going to be able to compete right away in the West. But let's see. Pope, what you think about Melo to possibly Golden State?
I mean, I mean, I like it. Just play with Steph until he retires. But it'll be nice. It'll be good. It'll be good. I'm not, too hyped on it. Steph getting older, uh, and Steph not a deep. Melo need cats with defense around him, and just like Steph need cats with defense around him. Even though Melo's better on defense than he used to be, still you don't want to kind of pair them two together and think you're gonna do something. So yeah, I rather see Melo somewhere else in Denver. I said Denver.
Well, the deck is clear. I think Miami, man, he would be the star. He'll be the lead star guard, no question, no debating. This is your guard of the future to play with Giannis, Bam. This is it. I just wish, I hope they could pull it off. Davion Mitchell played solid in that playing too. Solid.
Hey,
The Hornets should be looking at Mitchell like, man, I like it. Yo, we might be able to do something with him.
Melo in Miami. You can
What,
kiss this
Wiggins?
relationship. You can kiss this relationship goodbye. That nigga love fake titties and ass. He gonna be in he gonna be
Speaking of
in heaven in
relationships,
Miami.
speaking of relationships, is breaking news. LeVar Ball came out and said that he separated with his wife Tina Ball.
Oh
It's Flight Sports. We broke that news. Y'all can go check that out if you want more
wow.
news updates and more on that. But that's breaking news. LeVar Ball and Tina Ball have separated. This is breaking in big baller world. This is crazy. This is wild.
that's not that's not right.
This
Uh,
is crazy.
LeVar ain't shit, homie. I'm going straight to I don't even know the hell.
Listen, man. LeVar Ball came out and said that he's moved on. Found something
Oh,
else. But she elected to do her own thing. So if you want more news updates and more on that, y'all go check that out. That happened literally minutes before this trade. Came out. It was so crazy. I was recording that video and the trade came out. This is just. It's getting wild with the DVDs right now, and it's about to get crazier. So next
oh,
time,
that's
happen.
crazy.
Yo, Pope, what the fuck did you say?
That's crazy, man. This nigga that bounced on his wife. Oh man. Listen, man, the boys is grown. Uh damn. I feel for him. But come on, to death do us, man. She had a little strokey stroke. I mean, not even no little. She had a mess. She still suffering. You gonna leave your wife and you lost your leg and some more shit. It is fuck.
I don't think he left his wife. Like I said, I think she. I don't know. It sounds like she moved on, but we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, because the
You
bar out there, not caring, probably, knocking things down. Probably, come on, man. Tina ain't just requesting that for no reason. He had to be uh doing some shit. Well, she should understand. I mean, you got little issues, little medical issues. Unfortunately, man, I don't want to joke about that at all. I'm sad about that because I think Tina was a hell of a woman, good looking woman, rowdy, when the time need be, outspoken and quiet at the same time, intellectual. I fucked with Tina heavy, man. She was legit.
That's funny you said that because like I touched on a lot of that in the video, so I'll make sure y'all go check that out. I spoke about how, she was a major component, with Triple B's. I know Lavar was the face, but Lavar even made it clear that it was the family brand. It was him and her. It wasn't even about the boys and shit like that. It was them, and they came with it. So I mean, there's a lot. We'll get to it. Make sure y'all go check out that video, and it's out right now on Flight Sports. But seriously, man, back to this trade, man. Lamelo Ball is on the way. Shout out to Coffee to the World in the chat, Thunder, everybody that's in the building, everybody that's listening right now. You already know what it is. The Charlotte Hornets, Peterson and company, along with Charles Lee. We all know I don't think they was the most fond of LaMelo, in my opinion, especially Charles. I just think that he can't stand LaMelo. He just tolerating him. And LaMelo plays so well. Like I said, LaMelo pretty much messed up all their plans. So this is their last resort. Let's just fuck around and do it anyway. We're gonna move his ass no matter what. He messed around and bought into their system, ladies and gentlemen. They went on a crazy win streak. This is how stupid this shit is, ladies and gentlemen. They literally almost was dragged. If they would have had 3 or 4 more games left, they would have been in the playoff. This how well they was playing, y'all. And for them to do this right now is just disgusting. He didn't take away things from Khan. He elevated Khan. Khan showed in the playoffs that, the playing shit got a little rough for him out there. We got to monitor that. When games got tight, Khan kind of, he kind of, went into a little shell. I just got to keep it 100. Look, he had to bench Khan Knippel. Is he ready to take the mantle as the number 1 option, in Charlotte? Because we don't know what's gonna happen. I'm not saying that he's not, but I'm just watching everything. I just want to point out all of the things that's going on with Charlotte. But let's see the return that they could get for LaMelo. All of these things are going to be key. But this is disgusting, that this came out. LaMelo was never appreciated with the Charlotte Hornets. He came into a disgusting situation. Let's keep it real. He came in off the bench, behind, all this other shit, Rozier and all of these fools. It was just a complete mess what was happening in Charlotte, since LaMelo has got there. They haven't had much success, so Bridges was dealing with his episodes. Wasted season after wasted season. Last year it looked like it was going to be another wasted season. This guy, Charles, was benching LaMelo Ball like it was going out of style. So I mean, this is just stuff that we got to understand, that the seeds have been planted. So I'm not surprised that LaMelo obviously wants to be in Charlotte, and they just saying, man, fuck it, let's get him out of here now, no matter what. We listen in the office. We don't give a damn what the hell's going on. There was no reason for LaMelo Ball to be on the trade block. He deserved the right to come back next year and see what they're looking like, because the way that they finished, if they start that way, you're looking at a top 5 seed in the East. Top 5. They beat the Knicks. The Knicks came to Charlotte and lost. So I mean, they was giving teams a run. And listen, man, it was wild. I just want to point a couple pointers out. Pope, man, what's your thoughts on everything what's happening, man? You got a lot of people rolling in the building. Give everybody your thoughts on what's happening with LaMelo, your initial thoughts when the trade came out, how you even heard about it. How did you get the news?
I got the news from you, nigga.
Oh, damn, I thought you would have got a notification or something.
Nah, you dropped the news. Shout out to Flight Sports TV. Y'all hit the like button for dropping the news, being the first at it. You're the first I heard talk about this. So, and I know you ain't just grabbed it out the air, so I clicked on immediately. I say, well, what's going on? But
Right.
no, it's the time. Flight, I don't understand uh uh why you would want him to stay there. They could possibly be in the same situation next year. It could be an injury or two that happens to not just Melo or just somebody else on the squad, and them niggas be fighting. Bottom line is they don't. The Hornets isn't made for prime TV. So I believe they like this. Bello has proven he's ready for prime TV. So it's time to go. Just like every superstar that they've drafted in prior years before. Once they get a guy they drafted and that guy becomes a superstar, he goes to a bigger market team. I'm happy that they not holding him hostage. That they willing to be like, all right, yeah, let's get Lamelo over to a situation uh that makes sense for the league. And I think that's what that franchise is for. Like y'all draft players, and that's what most of the small town market teams are for. Giannis was just stubborn for a while, like, oh no, I'm gonna just stay here. I'm from Greece. I'm from Greece and I ain't loyal, and so he stayed, he stuck it out. Kudos to him. A lot of times they want their superstars in big markets. And as you see, hey, Giannis is now Miami. He's big market. Uh, he didn't go to another small town type franchise or nothing. So
And another thing I want to point out, Giannis was just in Milwaukee. Shout out to Wisconsin, but come on, he deserved something else. South Beach. He was able to. He wanted. You seen the cities he was looking at: New York, L.A. He wanted to go something like that. He was trying to go to, like you said, a major market. But also, I think he wanted some living. Miami, South Beach. That's a good place to live, Pope. That's a good place to be. On the beach. Yeah, I think he's gonna mess around and kick his feet up there for the rest of his career.
yeah, and can you imagine Melo in Miami with him? So that's what I'm saying. The league, I think, with the merge of Lamelo last season, of how he showed he could be razzle dazzle, entertaining, still play within the system, where everybody still get buckets, he still get buckets, the whole 9 yards. All right, yeah, time to put Melo on the market. That makes sense to me. Perfect sense. Good job. I'm like, good job. I don't want to fucking root for the Hornets and shit. Fuck the Hornets. I mean,
You like Charles Lee?
yeah, I do. I actually grew to like him. I think Melo do too. I think he had a method to his madness because he had to get when you got guys like Con Knipple come to the team, the Abate, the other rookie that you just drafted, the sitter. What's his name? I can't remember his. I don't know his name, but I like him a lot. Tall sitter, the second
Ryan
two nigga.
Kalkbrenner.
Yeah, Colt brother nigga. They real professionals, non-hood niggas. Miller neither. Even though he got in that situation, he really he not on that type of time. And Melo not either, but Melo's still kind of uh he's still kind of street with his shit. He's still kind of South Central LA in a sense.
You don't know what's gonna come out if they put a microphone in his face. You
Right,
see that
right,
they'll find
right.
him.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
said no homo. But I mean, none of these. I mean, look, I don't find nothing wrong with about maybe the NBA if they want to make him the face of it. They might look at things like that. But I mean, look at guys like Anthony Edwards. He says some outlandish things too. I mean, there's no telling what he'll say on the podium. Stop fucking fouling. All kind of shit. You never know what may come out with Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, that's why he
I'm
unlikable too. He won't win the chip neither. But that's you got to be more professional. I think Charles was like on him because I really think the team really took a turn when they went to Con Knipple's mom and pop's house. I think it was an eye opener for a lot of them. Like, yeah, this family just all about basketball. Like none of the other shit. None of the other shit matters. Not the cars, the jewelry, the money, this, the that, the bitches, no, nigga, basketball. And and the work ethic of Khan, because I really believe Khan changed that whole shit of just how they got out. Khan and oh yeah, James too. Them niggas came from Duke with stupid hard workout and dedication. You can tell Diabate he the same way. You can tell he a hard worker. He super professional in the gym, crazy. You can tell. You can look at their games and tell like these niggas be in the gym crazy. They little gym rats.
I
And
got a
and,
question for you guys.
and so like Lamelo and Miller and all of them, Miles Bridges, they had to they couldn't let them young niggas show them up and outwork them. And so I think they went along too. Like, okay, yeah, these little niggas ain't bullshit.
What you said?
They believe they have a new, kind of like a new set of a young core, like the Millers. They got Khan, Diabota, I think that's the name, and they looking to maybe replace Lamelo with someone a different point guard. Is that the reason they might be shipping him out, or is it just plus his value is a little bit higher now to ship him out?
But
You
well,
got
they got Jacoby White.
that's
Is
a
that
good
just
point.
they just drafted him, right?
No, they ain't
No, they
driving.
traded for him.
Oh,
They got Jacoby White. You got Jacoby White. Jacoby White is no fly by night type of player. He's a fucking player. And so if you got Jacoby, and again, it's not like he's the main guy on the team. No, he like the third wheel because you still got Miller and Concanipple. So that them three right there, that's a 3-headed monster. We talking about getting buckets. That you got to worry about defensively. And Jacoby White, Concanipple, and Miller is a nightmare to guard.
honestly, I want my Mavericks to get him. If they ship him out anywhere, I would love to see my Mavericks get him
Look,
because I've
look,
Mavericks
been
or Magic.
I got some breaking news I want to report to the people right now because there's a slight front runner in this race, for Lamelo Ball, already. I'm about to point that out with the people. 1 second, hold on. There's a front runner in the race, and he's emerged as the Minnesota Timberwolves. The reports are that the Minnesota Timberwolves are the most aggressive at the moment, for LaMelo Ball's services. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Anthony Edwards is coming for LaMelo Ball, ladies and gentlemen. It was reports, they let go of Julius, and everybody want to know what's up with him. They need a guard in there, and let's see what happens. But the reports are right now that Minnesota, is very aggressive for LaMelo services. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I would hate that.
I don't want to see that at all. I swear I don't want to see that. Another
Oh,
team
at
is
all.
in the race to get another top tier dude, and I'm not feeling that at all. So,
Yeah,
but if
that's
Minnesota
trash.
get him, it's because and it's like I'm sick of going to these conference finals and losing. That's the main reason. And you don't have another guy that maybe get a few shots off to help out or pass the ball and not gun shy. So I just want the Mavericks to step in. It's like give him something to like, hey, we beat their offer. Can we get him and have a guy presently and in the future for our guy? So if that's the case.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. That they don't match to me. They don't fit to me. It'll be your turn, my turn, 1-on-one basketball type shit. It's nah. It don't work. It wouldn't work. It's almost Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant situation. It looks good. Like yeah, they both top notch players. But yeah, no, they style of play. I don't. Yeah. Melo need to go where like he's the man. If he go in the Ants, that's Ant Man's team. You want Melo to go somewhere where that's another nigga's team? That's terrible. Like no, Lamelo go to Miami. That's Lamelo's team with Giannis and Bam on the team. What? It'll be #1 Lamelo Ball jerseys all through the crowd, well over Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bam Adebayo. The Melo Ball jerseys, Miami Heat jerseys, going go through the roof. You put LaMelo in Denver or something like that. That's LaMelo. Even though it's Jokic is there, boy, LaMelo is the ticket. He's the ticket. He what the people go pay to come see. So yeah, putting him with Ant-Man, and again, to me, Anthony Edwards, the mindsets. Y'all not think, y'all just thinking about skills. I'm looking at the mind, the mentalities. Them two together, they gonna be they already both fake ass YNs. They both fake ass YNs. Neither one of them niggas from the hood or street like that or none of that shit, but they try to act like they are. And so with them together, they gonna have more of that energy together. Like, yeah, nigga, what's up, my nigga? No, nigga, that don't win championships. Them type niggas don't win championships.
But Edwards do look like he trying to get to the conference finals, for NBA finals through brute force. So I think that Melo going there, that is his team. Melo could actually be the point guard too, not tasked to do everything, and like he was with the Hornets too. So I mean, let's see. I mean, look, his role is definitely going to change. Going to a team that's looking like they're going to be competing, because he's going to be traded possibly to a playoff team.
If he does get traded to Minnesota, it's going to be a team to watch for real. Because I just think that you got enough defense and you got plenty of offense. And it's like, depending on who they get.
They'll be box office
for real.
That's gonna be a hot ticket. They come to these cities.
Like, I'll be back in like 30 minutes. Okay?
Out.
I'll be back.
Listen, if Minnesota get LaMelo, they come back. They come to these cities, man. Those tickets gonna be through the roof. To see them too. So it's gonna be interesting to see, man. I like what I'm seeing from the Charlotte Hornets, though. I think that I liked what I was seeing from the Charlotte Hornets. I thought that they was progressing, but now that they're looking like they're gonna move on from LaMelo, I just want to see how it all ends when the dust settles. Because right now is a lot of speculation. They have to move LaMelo now. They can't. I just feel like they cannot just rekindle all of this. You just put this guy on the block for no reason. I mean, I ain't gonna say for no reason. You put him on the block out of nowhere. It was like no, it was no rumblings. It was this happened on draft night. Listen, man, we is aggressive right now. We got multiple teams and we listening. They let it be known. They couldn't just trade them like it was nothing, like on the low. They put that shit out there. So I don't know if that even is gonna help their value in return, doing something like this. So let's see. Do you think something like this hurts the value and the deal with LaMelo? Do they feel like they back against the wall, have to trade him now? And now these teams can lowball, these offers. What you think? Pope was just in here, but back to what I was saying, I really think that this is a crazy situation with LaMelo Ball, man. LaMelo has to make a decision with his career. You've been playing in Charlotte for some time now. You haven't been winning. You're a star. You didn't even make the All-Star team. There's a lot of things that I feel has been missed here with Charlotte. You're not on the All-NBA. You're not looked at, like you should be. I believe that his sneakers, his everything, that he would be better in a different city. You see Giannis, what he did. He went to a different city. It's time for LaMelo to be in the playoffs through hella high water. And right now, it seemed to be back against the wall. LaMelo has to be, moved. I can't believe that Jeff Peterson came out and with this. They're very aggressive. They didn't have any second round picks either. It's crazy how the Hornets have stolen damn near the draft. They damn near dominated the second half of the second round of the draft, and they didn't even have any picks. So I mean, that's just telling in itself. With the Charlotte Hornets, that they have dominated the second round of the draft, and they had no picks. So Minnesota, man, I want to see if they mess around and get them, because that's the team I want them on. I wanted Miami first. Miami's a new first, because even before this initial, trade rumblings came out, I wanted LaMelo Ball in Minnesota, But now with the whole situation going on in Miami, I want him in Miami. So let's see what happens. Let's see what Charlotte is even trying to get in a pending trade or whatever that may be. Nate says Miami doesn't have the money. I mean, I don't know. Could they move a Wiggins? Can they get a Mitchell and some of these other people that they might have? I know that they let a lot of shit go in that trade for Giannis, but Pat Riley always finds a way to get that other piece. So let's see. Is it Ja Morant? Is it Lamelo? Lamelo might be cheaper. Shit, who knows? Maybe it's Giannis. I mean, not Giannis. Maybe Ja's cheaper. But clearly you got two guards, possibly Kyrie. You have a lot of things that's on the table where these teams are just Minnesota gonna get one of them. Minnesota gonna get either Kyrie. If they don't, Edwards need to ask for a trade. They're gonna get either Ja, Melo, or Kyrie. Minnesota. I truly believe that. But it's looking like LaMelo might be, on the way. They have to move LaMelo after this. LaMelo is so messed up because he really bought into everything. He messed up their whole plans, y'all. They wanted to send LaMelo out of here like he was nothing. They couldn't do that. They wanted to kick LaMelo Ball off this roster, and LaMelo messed around and bought into their system. He was vouching for Charles Lee. LaMelo literally went out there and said that Charles Lee reminds him of his father. The way that his coaching style and stuff like that, it reminds him of his pops. Look at the praise of that from coming from towards Charles Lee. So I didn't like the fact of in the middle of the season, it was a reporter coming out saying that LaMelo Ball is upset and he's axed out of Charlotte. And he went out there and tweeted a clown emoji, and he went on the podium these are things that they are manufacturing. It almost reminded me of what happened with Carmelo Anthony, in New York. Because if people don't remember, Carmelo never wanted to leave the New York Knicks. He was pushed out, ushered out of the building, by, their regime. It was a new regime. It was Phil Jackson and company. They initially tried to compete, and then they eventually said they started ushering him out the door. And that's what it's looking like has went on with the Charlotte Hornets. Peterson and company, they brought in their new coach, and it seems like they tried to compete. They threw the team out there. Now they're looking to dismantle. And this helps them. This helps them stay there longer than they should be. Because if they keep LaMelo there and they're not even making the playoffs, you're going to have to start to look at Charles Lee now. Because, that seat get a little hot. What's going on with Peterson? A couple years now, y'all not breaking through. Maybe it's time to get somebody else in there. So if they start clipping off and resetting and it resets their timeline. Charles Lee could be there another 5-6 years. Maybe Peterson there another 10. These are the sick thoughts that these people think. I truly believe that. So it's crazy what's going on right now. But the Hornets have to make some serious decisions because you got young talent here. That want to know what the hell is going on. You got Con Knipple there. You got Kalkbrenner. What's the direction of this roster, when LaMelo Ball departs? Who else? Well, who's the casualties in this? Because I got a couple people right now that I know is going to be on the way out with him. Miles Bridges, he might as well get the bags ready. Trey Mann, he might as well get the bags ready. Or some of these veterans, they might as well get the bags ready. Who's to say that Musa is going to stay there? I'm just saying. I think that the Hornets, if you move on from Melo, I think they just need to go young. You let T. John progress, whether that takes 5 or 6 more years or whatever that is. Because it seems like T. John has an endless timeline on when he's supposed to be progressing as an NBA talent. Is the goalpost. I've never seen the goalpost move for any young player in the history of this recent NBA. That we doing this with T. John. T. John has been a bust. So and they haven't moved him. I don't know what value he has. So all you hear is he's the youngest player, he's this, he's that. That's all you hearing, but look, we're gonna find out. But it's time to let McNeely play like horse shit. It's time to let these guys take the 5 or 6, whatever it takes to get them to where they need to be. And I think that's what the direction of where the Hornets want to get to. I think that's what Charles Lee behind the scenes is pushing. Trust me, if Charles Lee wanted LaMelo there, he would be there. If Peterson and company, because Melo showed that maybe you should keep him around. He's not way out, in age. I mean, this guy is in the same similar timeline as these people, these players. So I don't like the fact that he seems to be being ushered out of the building, because that's what they doing to him. He's being ushered out, y'all. Make no mistake about the situation. Make sure you subscribe to Flight Sports, because we're gonna be discussing a lot of news, as this shit, approaches, whenever it goes down, when it goes down. This is where you're gonna want to be, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you have the bells on the icon. This is the time to put the bell on the icon, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the home stretch. LaMelo Ball, MB1, the one of one, is very well on his way out of the Charlotte Hornets. And this is the time where you're going to want to know what the hell is going on, because I don't give a damn where the hell I'm at. When the news breaks, Flight Sports TV, we reporting on it. But seriously, man, Melo in Minnesota would be rock stars. You understand? Rock stars. Him with Ed, that might be too much. The earth might crack. I mean, seriously, you got Edwards, with this Atlanta, wave. I mean, this shit is just the way he moving. It's like he got ATL on his back. Then you got LaMelo, Chino Hills, Cali. This thing could just get ridiculous. In terms of you got Adidas, Puma. I mean, this could be a major movie, with these two. They would be instant chemistry. They want to play together. They're friends. I know that the people wanted they were in the same draft class. So I mean, trust me, this guy's claim. I think that Edwards, out of all of the people that's available, Edwards is saying he wants LaMelo. I believe that Edwards is calling LaMelo, and trying to, let's get this thing rolling, because Melo could make this thing a little messy if he wanted to. At this point, Melo probably gonna be professional, and whatever they do, they do. But if he could slow this thing down a little bit, but Edwards might contact Melo, and hopefully Melo, could help facilitate this a little bit easier. Because I'm pretty sure if LaMelo was to come to the front office and say, you know what, I wouldn't mind going to Minnesota. Maybe they do the deal with Minnesota. The way the Hornets have played, they never made the play. They don't really have to move LaMelo to his preferred destination. But this is a new ownership, new president, new coach. You might want to do well by your stars, because that carries over to the next, regime of stars, free agents, people who may be looking to be traded. Nobody wants to go to a team that is basically, that's just like I said, where you're not valuing your main guy, where you're not showing him any value. Nobody wants to go to a team like that where you'll just ship a guy off for peanuts after he done did this, that, and third for you. You got a star player who wants to be moved, or who don't want to be moved. You want to move him. Why don't you move him to maybe his preferred destination or a winning destination? Don't send him to a situation where it's no man's land, and it just don't look right. Don't work out for you like that. People remember that. Nobody wants to go to a team like that. So let's see what happens. I think that LaMelo Ball, when it's all said and done, he'll be in Minnesota. But look out for Pat Riley. Pat, if there's a will, there's a way. And this is gonna be told. They have stolen this. The Hornets stole the second round of the draft with no picks. This is I don't think we've seen something like this, before. They came out of nowhere with this. This was what they call a bomb. This was a bombshell, ladies and gentlemen. A bombshell with LaMelo Ball being on the move. I'm not even gonna say possibly at this point. They're not going to be able to take this back. You're not going to be able to come out and say, you know what, we love Lamelo. We're going to keep him in the system, and I think that's over with. They done tried this game too much. They done showed their hand, and I truly believe they just want Lamelo to come out and request the trade. They're pissed off that he ain't did it already. They done did everything in their wildest imagination to show you that you should ask for the trade. He was benched in multiple fourth quarters this season. Charles Lee, this is Charles Lee's doings. He done showed LaMelo Ball on countless occasions that we can win without you. That's all that Peterson and especially Charles Lee was doing this whole season. Charles Lee, I believe that his main objective was to show that you can win without LaMelo. He would bench LaMelo like it was nothing. Fourth quarter, come out, Melo ain't even playing. It's home coming down the home stretch. He keeping the fucking bench in the game. Melo on the bench longer because he gonna roll. He's quote unquote rolling with the guys. These are the things that they say. Going with the hot hand and all of this, and to smooth over that they're benching LaMelo. They literally had LaMelo coming off the bench. This is what they try. They did everything to get LaMelo to request a move, and he ain't did it yet. And he did a 180. It happened so fast where he was on the bench, and it was just so stupid, that it made absolutely no sense. He ended up starting like right away. But it was a time where they had LaMelo coming off the bench like a 6-man, with the thought and notion that, we trying to we trying something different. It's something innovative that's going on where we gonna keep him around for the fourth quarter. This is to have him there when it matters most. This is what they had Steph Curry, Del Curry father up there. This is what they were saying on the damn. I couldn't believe what the hell I was listening to. The propaganda, what was going on? That was a disgrace what they did to LaMelo Ball, where they had him coming. LaMelo was just sitting there. He was so humble about the situation. He should have just rose complete hell, when they was doing that kind of shit, and he didn't do it. He ended up regaining his starting position. Actually, not even that. Scratch that. He came off the bench when they brought him in the game. He was going ballistic. They ended up bringing him back in the starting lineup. They never did that shit again because it was completely stupid. They didn't have a starting point guard they was bringing in Colin Sexton over him, y'all. That's why when I knew that when they drafted this point guard, they was talking about him coming in as the second unit, and I automatically had question marks about that off the rip. Because of the track record has shown that you can't trust these guys with Melo. They don't have his best interests. They didn't draft him. These guys can, they can start moving around. You feel me? They don't have to be bold to no shit like that. So this is some serious news that's going on, man. The Charlotte Hornets, they're gonna be moving on. And the reports are that Minnesota is out there. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all ends. The decisions have to be made. Salute to all y'all in the chat, man. Shout out to Dre Day. Make sure you subscribe to Flight Sports. Like I said, this is the time to have the bell on the icon. We're going to be breaking a lot of news, as it comes out, because the Charlotte Hornets have showed that they are ready to move on from LaMelo Ball, MB1, the one of one. Yeah, that's a fact. Shout out Christian Marshall. There's a lot going on, when it comes to LaMelo Ball. A lot. So we shall see, about what's going on. The Hornets got to get it together, man. The Hornets have to get it together, they haven't been able to put the pieces around him either. This team was they drafted him. They can't get no free agents. You better off going to Minnesota. They have shown that they are a better organization in Charlotte. they got their own questions too. I would like to see LaMelo in a serious organization like Miami, where you got Riley and all of them, Spoelstra. I think that's just another level, of terms of, just mindset. And Miami literally has a conditioning rule to even be on the floor. If you don't meet they got their own thing going on. If you don't meet their conditioning, they have their own shit. That's just with Miami. So it's like this would be a completely culture change for LaMelo, where he'll be in a winning environment, playing in games that matter. We haven't seen LaMelo at that point yet. Games that matter in the regular season, where the games are under more pressure, because he playing with Charlotte. They're not on TV. No, the matchups aren't, who really cares? It's just a fun, exciting. You get with Minnesota now, you going up against Shea and them, that's a serious matchup now. You going up against Castle and them in San Antonio, that's a serious. And Edwards know what LaMelo, what kind of player LaMelo is. You need a guy like Melo. Melo is that dude that step on the floor, feel like he better than everybody on the floor. So you need a guy like that who could go to San Antonio, ice water in the veins, and put up 30 to 40, damn near triple double. You need that. You truly need that. What was going on with the Charlotte Hornets, man? This is crazy. We got serious breaking news right now. The Charlotte Hornets have put LaMelo Ball on the trade block. Nobody's seen this coming. They stole the second round of the draft with no picks. Shams came out with this news, sent the world into a frenzy, to a complete frenzy. What are the Hornets going to do? What are they going to? Decisions have to be made. Decisions have to be made. Thunder says, imagine Wemby and LaMelo instead of Fox. He might have a ring. I agree. I truly agree with that. Stacy Van Diver, he says he don't believe it. Well, you got to believe it. You better believe it. LaMelo Ball is on his way out. It is what it is. Some people are saying it's about time. I want to see LaMelo playing games that matter, whether that's Charlotte, whether that's elsewhere. And I want to see him on national television. There's a lot of things I want to see from LaMelo. He deserves, his talent warrants it. We can't have LaMelo in these situations, where it's not progressing like it should be. But all jokes aside, man, the Charlotte Hornets is decision time. What are you gonna do? The ball is in your court. Again, everybody that's in the building right now, make sure you have the bell on the icon, because the news is coming out. It's gonna be coming out fast. LaMelo Ball is very well on his way out the door. And I can't believe this is happening, but it's happening. So salute to all y'all, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button on this video, on this live. We put out a breaking news report on LeVar Ball. There's a lot of things going on with Triple B's right now. Lonzo still don't have a squad. It's just all messed up. Since the Lakers have made it clear that Luka is their guard of the future. Yeah, I mean, he definitely ain't going to the Clippers. I mean, that was always a report that he wanted to go to the Clippers. But let's see. I'm trying to think who else may need a guard. Boston. So let's see. It's all about what the Hornets going to want. If I'm the Hornets, I'm definitely looking for some younger talent. I'm not looking to bring in no crazy vets or nothing like that. But it is what it is. Natik, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, White?
So what's going on? Talk to me. What's your thoughts on what's happening?
All right. I just thought about it a little bit more. Maybe if for a possible team, they can thinking about not only do they bring butts and seats, but they need to have a way for players to move the ball around, someone to pass the ball, and it's like I think Brooklyn will be a good place, one of those places, because they just traded for Julius Randle,
Yeah.
but it's not enough to get people in seats. So
That'd be a good. That wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be the. I wouldn't be so excited, but I would understand what's going on there. I think that you're going into a similar situation with Charlotte though. If
mhm.
you went to Brooklyn, these guys are still in question. Porter is not a star. Randall is a good player. There's no telling if you're going to make the playoffs with Brooklyn. It's not a guarantee. I think with Minnesota, that's a guarantee. Miami, guarantee. Um, Golden State, possibly even a guarantee there as well. But I mean, I'm not against it, but I would like to see something else. But I ain't. I'm not against the
Along,
move.
yeah,
Purple.
along with
Good.
mentioning Brooklyn, I'm sorry. Along with mentioning Brooklyn, I'm thinking if there's any small chance that you can add his brother as well to the team, he can still pass and defend just like his brother, but better. And if to even out the team a little bit more. So if Lamelo sits down, his brother can take his spot. Lonzo on the court, still keep that ball moving, everybody running or whatever they're doing. That's what I'm thinking. As far as his probably next best shot to see him and his brother play together. So, but anybody else, of course, if a good center and defense, go for it.
Yeah. Purple was good.
What's up?
You see what's going on? We got breaking news. MB won the one of one on the trade block. Yeah, talk to me. This is crazy.
I'm not surprised.
Oh,
That, that's all I gotta say. I just felt like if you've been paying attention, I believe only players that's still there from when Mitch Kupchak and what's the name, like and Michael Jordan is LaMelo, Miles, and like everybody else was brought in, like Josh Green, but LaMelo and Miles specifically. Like PJ's gone, Terry's gone, all these people are gone.
yeah.
But I'm not surprised. I'm it's not surprising, man. Only thing I can really say is that it might be health that they want to get rid of them.
Health.
Yeah,
Elaborate.
Yeah, he's good. He played a lot of games this year, but past years, yeah, he was a bit
yeah,
injury prone. So they're thinking maybe next year can he actually repeat what he did last year? So that's
hmm
a gamble. And they see it's like this is the best chance to let him go. His highest value could be right now, and they're trying to strike while the iron is hot for him.
yeah,
So
yeah. And I see like a lot of people like he led the number one like offense, and I said that all works to their advantage. But I do think, and maybe they couldn't work it out on draft night. But to me, I don't understand why yesterday you didn't make the like make a trade, you know, for another player.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's crazy. What did you think about when the Hornets drafted that point guard? I mean, did you think it was? Did you think any questions? Because I had alarms when I seen them go for a guard. I just like knowing the Hornets, I knew a guard was coming. But I mean, why would they have done something like that? You don't see other players doing. They don't do. They ain't doing shit like that. Other league guards in the NBA, they don't have to deal with the front office drafting at their position in the first round. What do you think about that?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. It's I don't know that I got to think about it some more.
Uh-huh. That sounds
I got.
good.
Uh,
What you think?
oh,
for me, I
go
think
ahead.
it was a little bit of a shock to hear that news. I'm like, I had a good year, come back next year. everybody gets a little bit better and see what it really looks like. You think you had a 1 year fluke, but come back next year and see what it really looks like, and everybody pushing for playoff contention. Maybe you getting a guard to replace somebody else who's probably leaving, or you're gonna cost too much. But now if you're talking about letting them go, they just trying to strike while the iron is hot and get something in value in return.
But
Along with the point guard that's still new, so you have to start over with another point guard. So
that's my thing though. Like when you think about the first round last night, the first 7 picks, let's just put it, the first 7 players that were taken. I don't understand. I think there was a better deal unless those 7 teams wasn't interested. Like it just don't make no sense if you know what I'm saying. Like I think you had a better chance to get better assets if you did, if you dealt him last night.
You got a point down. We got a new person in the chat. Oh, it's this Stacy. What's good, Stacy?
What's happening, man? What's happening?
Man, I know you got
Um,
a. I know. I can't wait to hear this shit.
I'm shocked like a mug. I'm shocked that hopefully that all they doing is just fielding calls, which is something I still wouldn't do. I wouldn't even test the man like that. I wouldn't test his camp like that. I wouldn't even test it, bro. But the issue is what I see is you have that season, and we all know he was really the catalyst of that season. Him getting so much attention on him, and him being a playmaker, got everybody else involved, stretched the court out and everything, and all the good that he did. Nobody can dispute that how good he was last year and how good he was as a team player last year. Now, and he changed the basketball. Now, we've been especially me, for the last 3 years, I've been like, Charlotte got enough money, enough cap space, enough trade assets to add a superstar. I never looked at them letting the one superstar you got go. I never saw this coming. That no, you add superstars with what you got, all the assets you got. You don't even need to trade Lamelo to get nothing better than Lamelo, because really ain't nothing better than Lamelo at the age of 24 years old. We talked about this. The only person is Wemby. He's untouchable. You know what I mean? But no, I didn't see this coming at all, and I don't understand where Charlotte coming from with letting him go to basically look like a G League team or a Farm League team or whatever. You don't do this. You don't let the superstar go. No. If you want to add you a Jaylen Brown, you want to add you a Giannis, which is already gone. You want to add you somebody that's highly marketable and can change the game and while they playing it and everything. You want to add that. You didn't have to give up Melo to get that. You know what I'm saying? Especially at this age. Even Zion stuck in New Orleans, and Ja Morant just now about to get ready to leave Memphis. You don't let these guys go. What the other one? Oh boy, in Minnesota. Yeah, you don't let people like that go. They're young. Paulo Banchero and Orlando, you don't let them go. You know what I mean? When they're young at this age and they got so much value and they're drawing so much money and they're third on the court. I don't get it. This right here, this is bad. This whole conversation bad. I hope they come. Charlotte got to come out and say, man, they lying. That's what's simple as how they got to come down. They got to come out and be like, man, people just lying on us because they want Melo now. They got to come out and say that.
Hold on, Stacey. We got Unstoppable. Shout out Unstoppable. It's been a minute since we heard from him. You in the building? We got a Bulls fan in the house.
Yeah,
Man, what's your thoughts on the situation? You hear what's happening?
yeah, man. Hopefully that's just a rumor. That ain't true. I hate to see them do that. I mean, Melo done been through some real tough times with this team, and now I feel like they on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? For them to trade him, I think it'd be bad, but what if he goes someplace that's good? I mean, then again, it'd be good for him, especially if you go to a winning organization. You know,
What y'all think about that?
I think the one team that could be aggressively calling to me is what's that? Minnesota, because Anthony Edwards
Yeah,
is just pissed.
yeah, please.
He is
And Gabe,
sick of
y'all want to
losing.
hear your thoughts on that. Y'all break that
It
down.
would have to be a swap like that. It would have to be an Anthony Edwards for. But what does he? Where does he play? Anthony Edwards really don't fit with. But he go out there, he shoot worse than Melo. And not saying Melo is a bad shooter and Anthony Edwards a bad shooter or whatever, but like people talking about shot selection, you can't run the plays or whatever because Melo do whatever somebody may think. He go out there and fire him up too. And he do drive, but he don't drive better than Melo. I'm just thinking of players at that age that do things better than Melo, and I don't see them. Like that's not name one that at their age, 24, 25 or younger, that do things better than LaMelo. You're really losing. And if you trade for Jaylen Brown, who's the hottest person on the market and really was the MVP last year, Jalen 30. Jalen be 30 this year. You're losing. In every aspect you're losing. So you mean to tell me you have Jaylen Brown and Miles Bridges on the same team? They're similar, they do similar things?
they
I
probably
don't
try
see
to
that.
get rid of him too, though.
Who? Jaylen Brown?
Nah, you said Miles Bridges, right?
Miles is Miles. The issue with Miles is the fact that he's 6'7", 6'6", 6'7", and he's playing power forward, and he's really a wing. He's really a. They call him power wings or whatever. And when you get the big guys on them, they cook Miles, and then Miles want to shoot more than he want to shoot more threes than he want to drive to the cup. There's a lot of things that are good with Miles. Like Miles is super athletic. Miles do play a lot of games. He an Iron Man. Miles do play good defense. But it's just like this is best as Miles gonna get right now. He ain't gonna get no better than this. Where Jaylen Brown win MVPs, and I mean he should won MVP. Scotty Barnes is cooking. Any player that's supposed to be like what Miles Bridges is, Miles is the worst of them players. You feel me? So you can upgrade with Miles because he got a low contract or whatever, you know. But he's best. This is the best you're gonna get out of him. Jalen Johnson over in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? That dude elite. Like, that you can easily trade Miles. Melo, he ain't even making that much. 40 million is nothing.
I mean, but they feel like, which I doubt, because again, I mean, Melo even pushed to get I can't think of Buddy's name that they drafted last year. Knipple, I think. He before last anyway. He pushed to get him. So yeah, I think if you ask me,
Did they?
I think it's a rumor, or then again they just what every team do. They listening, but they ain't willing to trade him unless
Yeah, a couple years ago, Lamar Jackson was in the same situation. Go with Lamar wasn't going nowhere. Lamar wasn't going nowhere.
I mean, but but if it's true, I mean, I wouldn't mind having him in Chicago. You know what I'm saying?
I bet y'all would. I bet you
and some other pieces. I'll take LaMelo off your hands, but
real talk. I think all other 29 teams like, man, what we gotta get to get them. All 29 teams will say, what we gotta get to get them, because they know they bringing in marketing. He gonna make money. He gonna play his style, which is unstoppable style, to the point where nobody sees it. Nobody has a break. You got to guard LaMelo from full court. You got to guard Melo from full court, man. That's why we set screens on people in half court and on full court and everything, because that stuff you do in college and high school, you don't really see that in the NBA. People allow people to come up the court in the NBA. No, you got to guard LaMelo full court, just like you got to guard Steph. And because he'll pull up from back there. He'll pull up. As soon as he crosses the line, he'll pull up and hit him. But the fact is, all 29 teams in the league would love to have him. I don't think all 29 teams would got enough to get him. You know,
Hey, Thunder,
and
they got more wings than guards, bro.
well, they don't. The thing with the Thunder is
No,
they're
I
running
wasn't talking
on.
about. He said something about Chicago. I was just answering that right quick.
What he said?
He said they got like 7 guards, which
Who?
means nothing.
Who?
Chicago.
Charlotte got about 6 or 7 guards.
Yeah, that means nothing, bro.
Charlotte came into the league. Charlotte started last year with 8. Remember they had Spencer Dinwiddie?
Who did they draft again? They got shooters, right?
Who?
Charlotte.
No, they got a shoot. They got a point guard who can shoot. He's the best shooter in the draft. He 5. He 5, by the way. You know, he 5. And then they got Hans Steinbeck, the center, the Sabonis dude.
He might be maybe I'm just saying maybe he may be Kobe White replacement if Kobe White asking for too much. Kobe White, the guy you just said that they just drafted.
Oh, okay. You talking about what's his name? I was thinking about Christian Anderson from Germany. Yeah, he's from Texas.
He may be.
I think he a part of that rotation. I don't even think he's replacing Kobe White. I don't think he replaced because Kobe come off the bench for Charlotte, bro. He's the 6th man.
You said he the best. If I heard you right, you said he's the best shooter, right?
He was the best shooter in the guard, right? Yeah, but Kobe, both of them gonna play like a combo guard situation. Both of them gonna play combo guard, like.
I mean,
you know
if he come back, that's what I'm saying. That's why, because some of the stuff I said, I was like, well, like
last night,
Cameron Carr. I'm wondering why they passed on Cameron Carr. Cause I'm I thought Charlotte was gonna get him because I wanted.
Cameron Carr went 15. Cameron Carr went 15. Charlotte had 14.
No, Cameron Carr didn't go 15. Cameron Carr didn't go 15. He went 24 because the New York Knicks and the Lakers did pick swap. So the Knicks drafted him and traded him to the Lakers. But I thought that would have been a good pick for Charlotte. But then again, I didn't get the, even though that was a high pick, but I didn't get the Knipple. But now I'm like, yeah, damn, he doing good over. So then again, I mean, they know what they doing over there in Charlotte. Like I said, I always said Charlotte was gonna be one of them teams.
Yeah, Jeff Peterson, the GM, Jeff Peterson, he said that they are going to resign. They're resigning him. They're saying they're resigning him.
Kobe White?
Kobe White, yeah. They love Kobe White.
We'll see, because I know the reason I say that when the rumors is in Chicago, he wanted, I think he said he wanted more than like 30 or 21 of them. I don't know.
Man,
when you say they got the best.
The way he played last year, I'll give it to him. I'll give him 25. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we can get him at 24. But I'll give him about 25 or whatever. Well, Charlotte got the money to get him now. They got the money. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you got to make him the highest.
I said that was a rumor, bro. I feel like that's a rumor.
I do too, bro. You just not going to give up. They won't Melo out, bro. I'm telling you.
Listen, fam. Y'all got to know, if y'all don't know, nobody is safe. Nobody is safe on no team. Maybe except for Michael Jeffrey Jordan. But I'm telling you, if the price is right, you getting traded. But like I said, with this shit, I'm like, no, I don't think they traded Melo. That's just a rumor. That's just a rumor that a mofo probably done started for clickbait. Like I said, all teams, they listen. Of course.
Shams is good for it. Shams is good for that clickbait shit. He been like that since he came into working for ESPN. He good for that clickbait shit. And I saw what Brian Windhurst had to say. He said, oh, they want to build a team around Con Knipple and Brandon Miller. Bro, who told you that? Who told you that?
That's just to get some buzz.
You gotta let Tom do his thing and prove it to me. Prove it to me that they're aggressively
to talk
bro,
about.
This same shit being said with Lamar Jackson. Was it not being said with Lamar Jackson? And everything Lamar comes out and say after the whole stuff, he was like, man, I just basically wanted to, I basically fake like I asked for a trade because I wanted more money. I wanted to win this. I never wanted to go anywhere. And then Baltimore was like, man, we never was going to trade him. But the fact is, ESPN starts to miss, and they start all that mumbo jumbo, and that's what it comes
it's something
down
for
to.
everybody to talk about, man. I mean, the NBA season is over with. For folks to talk about, hey, you here?
We're gonna watch
Then
Summer
again, it
League.
could be real.
If it's real,
it could be real, but they just listening. But they willing to listen to the offer. What they offer, what you offer for Melo? Okay, no, that ain't good enough.
Right. Well, tell me, you find me somebody find me a package for LaMelo Ball that makes sense. Find me a package for LaMelo
first of all,
Ball.
you gotta let the money gotta match. So
money gotta match.
From what I'm seeing, but what did Melo get paid?
Melo gets paid $40 million a year now. He's up to $40 million.
What was the contract that he signed?
Well, no, he's in like this third year of that contract, so he up to like $40 million. Second or third year, one or the other.
Money got matched. Okay.
Yeah. So the money got matched.
Who's looking for point guards? Timberwolves looking for a point guard. Who you gonna give me from the Timberwolves? Maybe Rudy got to be in that in the package because you got to give me talent to talent. First, no. I probably wouldn't wrong. Give me.
You don't want Rudy. Rudy old. Rudy getting up there now.
Resign. That's what I said. Give me Ayo Dosunmu. That's
still
maybe Jalen.
Jalen McDaniels.
I hear you. What you say?
You said Dosunmu and Jalen McDaniels, right?
Yeah, Dosunmu and McDaniels.
But get what? Charlotte already got. Charlotte already got that.
Charlotte already got what?
They already got Jalen McDaniels. They got Ayo Dosunmu and Charlotte and Jalen McDaniels. They already got that.
Who was that?
Brandon Miller.
Okay. Who's the sumo over there?
Brandon Miller, 6'9", a 6'9" wing who can play defense and score, first and foremost. And then you got Ayo. Well, Ayo, you got a play man, and then the kid they just drafted. And then you got Kobe White.
I don't think Trey Man ain't no Trey Man. I think to me Trey Man, he ain't no Dosunmu, bro. Dosunmu playing both sides of the game.
You're gonna take Dosunmu over that because you watched them since he played for Illinois. You watched him when he was in high school in Chicago.
You hold on, fam. You turn my Bluetooth on and off. It sounds like you talking through a cup, bro. Hold on.
Okay, maybe it's me.
No, it might be mine, bro. Because my stuff is tweaking.
Okay, so let's talk. Can you hear me better now?
No, okay. Yeah, I hear you. Now, who you said is the Super Bowl over there?
Okay, but listen though, Ayo costs $25 million now. Get how much Trey Man costs? $8 million. You getting Trey Man for $8 million, and then you already got Kobe White. When you had Ayo and Kobe,
Kobe White not playing both sides of the game, bro. Kobe White, he's not known for his defense. He's okay.
Yeah. So, but how similar were they when you had both of them at Chicago?
They weren't similar at all.
Okay.
You got Kobe White that I mean, some days he was inconsistent. Some days he'll be hot, and then some days he wouldn't. But he definitely wasn't the sumo on the defense. You know what I'm saying?
Sion James a dog on defense.
I mean, have you seen Sion? Nah.
Man, Sion a dog.
I would say this.
Sion a dog on defense, bro.
You gotta take your
I'm not paying for defender, bro.
I would say this, man. Have you? Come on, let's be honest. Okay, how tall is he anyway?
Who?
The guy you just said.
Sion is 6'6". He's swole.
What's the wingspan?
Yeah. Huh?
What's the wingspan?
Oh, he got a long wingspan. This dude big, bro. He big like
Is he a point guard?
He played backup point guard last year. We don't like him playing backup point guard, but we rather him play. Like, you know what I'm saying? We would rather him play like the wing stopper. He got a lot of he got a lot of Josh Okogie and what's your boy down there at the Pelicans? My favorite player too.
Trey Murphy.
No, not Trey. Not
Zion.
Trey. No. You close though. Herb Jones. He got a lot of Herb Jones going. Yeah. He like the twins. He like he like them. Not the Moors. Not more the ones.
Oh, you talking about Thompson twins? A man Thompson.
Yeah, he like a sir and a man.
If he like them, then he can't shoot.
He can't shoot. He's not the best shooter, but
he got to develop that jump shot.
But he can shoot. He can shoot. He made about 53s last year. He can shoot, but he's not. He don't score much at all. He don't score much. He's gonna go in there and lock you down. And he actually played backup point guard for Charlotte last year, and we don't want that. Nobody wants that. He couldn't get the ball past half court at the time. It didn't make any sense. But he was great guarding the point guard on the other team. You know, point guards are big now, like tall and everything. He was great guarding. But they don't.
They make him play point guard.
They don't have to spend money for Jalen. I'm gonna X that trade out. I feel what you're going with it, but with Charlotte already got some.
They listen. I mean, again, like I said, every team's listening. Nobody is untradeable. You know what I'm saying? Depending on if the price is right, but I don't think Charlotte out trying to look for. I just think this clickbait.
We're gonna get to Summer League, and when we get to Summer League, he's gonna be standing right there. He's gonna be right there with the rest of his team. He's gonna be right there with the rest of his team. Cause you know, Charlotte Hornets always go down there to Summer League. With the whole team go down there with the rookies and stuff like that. So it'll have if they trading LaMelo Ball, something had to come out. Something had to come out.
Of course, they trading LaMelo Ball. He went to them and said, "Trade me, shit." That's the only thing I think of. But
the thing is, when Shams, I heard the interview. I heard the what's it called. Shams said that he wants to be there. They're trying to flip it on Charlotte and trying to make it seem like Charlotte wants to move him.
I don't think Charlotte want to move him. I think that's
they know that man. Man, look at the crowd. Look at the crowd. See who wearing wet jerseys. Who buying who shoes?
I was.
Yeah. You feel me?
But if they feel like you can't, if they feel like he may be bringing the money and all that, bringing the crowd, but if the GM feel like that, okay, we not moving forward and we don't see we winning a championship with him, they gonna trade him. But I still don't think this is real though. I don't think that's true. I think that's a bunch of BS.
The thing is, they are moving forward. You feel what I'm saying? They won 44 games last year. And when it came down to the play-in game when they beat Miami, who went off that game? Who was the only person they can depend on? Melo.
They got to build that chemistry, huh? You know?
Melo built the
chemistry and experience.
Melo built the chemistry all season. He got everybody else involved all season long, right? But came into the playoffs and basically was the one who came into the play-in and all the starters played at least 35 minutes and up, right? Somewhere close to that. All the starters played the whole game. For those two games in play-in, they played the whole game. Melo cooked. Even in the game they lost. He said that second half he took off. He said, "Man, I should just took the ball the whole first half. I got everybody else involved. I should have just took over. I'm mad at myself for not taking off in the first half." One of the games he went like 1 for 16 from 3 because he had to fire him up.
You said 1 for 16?
Yes, bro. Yes, he had to fire him up, bro.
1 for 16?
And bro, and as a basketball genius that I am, I understood the 1 for 16. I understood it. He had to do it. He had to fire him up, bro. They was on him. They was on. Orlando played great defense, bro. That's why I don't understand why Orlando even fired that coach. Orlando long. Orlando big, all of that. Orlando's a problem.
You know, they always looking. Somebody got to be a scapegoat. You know.
You're right. That's all that
But I
was.
think shit, Sweeney gonna be good over there, bro.
Yeah, he will. He will. But hey, man, the one that need to be getting moved on is Franz. Move away from Franz. I don't think them two, Pablo and Franz, can coexist. I really don't. Franz is a little bitch. Franz play like Luca at
We'll
times.
see.
He don't get the Luca call.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see what Sean Sweeney can do. You know what I'm saying? If he can do something with him, then you know.
Man, I'm sitting there trying. I got a basketball brain. I have everybody's contract in my head in the whole NBA, and I cannot see where Lamelo go.
He gonna go to whoever send the best package, man. Regardless,
Whoever's
gonna send us the best package, he gonna go.
Portland will have to give us the whole starting lineup for me to be satisfied. They already don't. Charlotte already don't want Scoot. They already passed up on Scoot.
I got a question.
Go ahead, ask away.
I gotta ask this question. Would you think that, I know it's not the team he wants to go to, but would you think the Kings will give up Darius a cup for a LaMelo Ball to come to that team?
They don't have enough.
Yeah, they definitely don't. The contract's got to match.
Well, of course, plus other guys, and then maybe a pick or two or whatever. Yeah.
Who are they?
They had to send a pick.
Because we were talking about this last night. We were talking about this last night, bro. Right. First and foremost, the Kings don't make smart moves in the first place. Let's just get that out the way. They the dumbest franchise. They dumber than Charlotte. Okay, in the history of sports, the Kings is the worst franchise in the history of sports. They that bad. They worse than the Jets with it. Like, real talk. They worse. But let's be real here. Levine is 30-some years old, 35 years old, in that range, somewhere in that range, and he make over 40, 50 million. DeRozan make over close to 40 to 50 million. Sabonis making 40-some million. You know what I'm saying? These are three, they're not super maxes, but these are three max contracts. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want these aging players. If they wanted Sabonis, they would have traded for Sabonis without even giving up a player. You remember that?
I think somebody had taken. But the contract's bad.
The contract is bad. So their contract's so bad, and these players are aging that the role players, man, a lot of us don't even know who the role players on the teams is. Like, these young guys they bringing in and everything. This is the same team that traded De'Aaron Fox. He go to the finals. This is the same team that fired the coach and he wins the NBA championship. This is the same team that had DeMarcus Cousins and fumbled all them years with DeMarcus Cousins. And he wasn't the first to go through that.
Yeah, they had the best center in the league. I don't understand how they ain't built around him. DeMarcus Cousins was like that.
First of all, that situation was so bad because they were trying to move the Kings to Las Vegas. The Maloof brothers were. Then they said, no, don't move them. We'll find a new owners. He said, okay, the Maloof brothers said, we'll sell the team. They sold the team to a guy named Vivek Ranadive, an Indian dude. This man was trying to get them to play cherry pick. He was trying to get them to cherry pick, bro. And Mike Malone was like, no, we're going to play real basketball. They fired Mike Malone when he was winning. And Mike Malone go to the Nuggets and win. And it just so happened he find the player on his team that's on the third string center, and that third string center happened to be who? Jokic. That man traded Mason Plumlee. Miles Plumlee wanted Plumlee brothers. It was the older brother, I believe. But traded him out the way and traded Nurkic, young Nurkic, when Nurkic was young. Said, let me move these guys on. I got this boy named Jokic. He's gonna pass the ball. I'm gonna use the same stuff I was using with DeMarcus Cousins over there at the Kings, and I'm really gonna advance my offense. And next thing you know, you got Jokic, 3-time MVP.
It is though. Kings, I think I'm gonna call it the same thing I said with Charlotte. Kings will be back. They just got to get off. They got to eat them bad contracts. And the only way they going to get off them bad contracts, you got to trade a pick. But guess what? Even the pick don't mean nothing because how the rules change of the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to eat them contracts. And
Yep.
once they give Darius A. Cup time to develop. And once they get off a bonus, maybe be able to trade him for something. Or get rid of Zach LaVine and get rid of DeRozan. It's gonna be some dark times in Sacramento, but
So why would Charlotte help them with the dark times? You know what I'm saying?
It all depends who you getting back. Okay, can we get back? Let's say you look at DeRozan. That could be a good closer for them. Maybe they say, hey, we can use DeRozan in the playoffs.
I'm gonna help you out with that.
Maybe they looking at, I don't know, maybe Zach, because you got Miller over there, and you got Knipple, so you really don't need
him.
Zach.
Right. You don't need him.
Let's say, okay, Sabonis. Put him at the 5 that can stretch the floor.
Hey, they had a chance to get him without they had a chance to get Sabonis without giving up a player. They wanted draft picks. The Kings wanted draft picks for Sabonis. Charlotte said no.
I mean, which was right.
And guess what?
They shouldn't have gave up no draft picks.
And get what? Charlotte drafted another Sabonis. That's who Hans Steinbeck is. Look at his game. That's a Sabonis game. The best rebounder. Sabonis can rebound his ass off, can pass off from the top of the key and everything, be the quarterback, all that stuff.
Well,
point centering, all that stuff. That's how Hunter Steinbeck played. And he a dog. You got Sabonis, a younger version on a rookie contract. So that's the answer to that. Now let's talk about DeRozan. If they want it,
nobody's talking about buying us DeRozan, bro.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just gonna answer.
No, not you. I'm talking to the chat too. So we talking about buying out Zach LaVine and DeRozan. No, we're talking about making a trade.
I'm explaining to y'all that anybody who want that DeRozan conversation, that hypothetical, bruh. The reason why Charlotte got so much money right now is because they sent Gordon Hayward away. They sent.
No, they ate that. They ate that. Gordon Hayward, they ate that contract.
No, they didn't. They gave it to OKC. Remember Gordon Hayward finished. Gordon Hayward, the white boy. They sent him to OKC. I thought
they ate that contract.
No, they gave it to OKC.
What was he on his last year?
Yeah, he ended up retiring after that. OKC took that $36 million. That much money to spend. That wasn't no money.
What did they send out? Because you had to send out a pick.
That's a salary dump. Puko. They gave back Puko, and then they gave I call him Puko because I don't know how to say his whole name. He ended up being a bust. But they gave back Puko, they gave Trey Man, and a couple other things, and then another one of them tall. I know it wasn't Davis Bertone.
They didn't send out no picks for that.
They wanted somebody who was going to eat the contract, and OKC was willing to do it because they was in the playoffs, and none of the players on OKC had got their supermax yet. This is before OKC had got this is before OKC had paid paid them 3. Shea, what's his name? Yeah.
That was pretty good for them to. That's a salary dump.
That's what this nigga doggone Jeff Peterson is a genius, bro. This the same dude who brought Durant to the Nets. He was assistant GM at the Nets. This who built that James Harden Durant trade with Kyrie. He was just assistant GM, and then he was in Atlanta, and he was in Atlanta when they was winning as like part of the front office. But Jeff Peterson, a genius. That's why I don't understand what's going on. This is the most ungenius thing you've ever done. Was you gonna clone Shaq or something? Bring him back? Boy, you gotta give me Jokic for Lamelo Ball. Like real talk.
That ain't gonna happen, bro.
None of this.
You might as well hang up the phone on me, man. You asking for Jokic.
Real talk. Everything that you can think of for Lamelo Ball is, that shit ain't gonna happen.
I mean,
every player.
I can kind of throw back at you that he kind of injury prone, so I'm not gonna give you no.
The Pistons not giving the pay. Because the only person that's equivalent to LaMelo Ball in today's basketball, as far as guard, is Cade Cunningham. As far as like,
yeah, I mean, if you feel like LaMelo can get the job done versus Cade Cunningham, then yeah, you do that. But I don't see them doing that.
Get the job done.
Huh?
Cade Cunningham, first team All NBA, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Pistons was the number 1 team in the East, wasn't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it ain't
But
no.
that's why I said that if they feel like they can't win, that's the only chance they trade them, which we know you can win with Cade. Look how far they went.
I don't think the Pistons doubting if they can win. They know they can win.
No, I know that. I'm just saying that's the only way you make that trade.
Me and you, we having the same. We on the same level. I understand you. Like you actually got, but you and Perk actually are some of the best conversations I've had on since I got on here. Since I ever come on flight. I'm being real with you. So I'm just talking to you real. Like we on the same page with all this stuff. This shit is just rumors. We done seen them before. We done seen these rumors before. Somebody's supposed to get traded and they out in block. You don't think Boston up there tripping right now? Like, why Jalen? Fucking give away Jason Tatum. We want to keep Jalen. Why JB? That's their boy. Boston Celtics fans for real are like, man, they love them to Jaylen Brown. Well, he got the keys to the city. He really do, though. There's a Jaylen Brown day in Boston. There really is a Jaylen Brown day.
Jay, who are you talking about?
Jaylen Brown has a day. I'm talking about, do you know how last 2 weeks, and in fact, all last year, people was talking about Jaylen Brown getting traded. Boston fans really feel like they want to keep Jaylen Brown and let Tatum go. That's how they feel, because that's how they mindset is.
I think Jaylen Brown better than. I've always said I think Jaylen Brown better than Tatum.
Man, Jaylen Brown was the MVP of the league last year. They took that jump from him. He was the best player in the league last year.
Boston dropped the ball on what's his name, Giannis. I would have sent out Tatum. I would have sent him out. Like, see you, bye.
You see what happened? You see what happened? Tatum came back and it fucked up their system. They weren't losing games when it was just Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Man, I was sitting there looking at how it went. Jaylen Brown would have to get all his points in the third quarter. Jaylen Brown was only getting his points in the third quarter. Tatum would go out there and try to get a triple-double and lose the game. But Boston was number 2 in the league, number 2 in the East all season long. Boston was killing people last year with Jaylen Brown. He was the MVP. But guess what they did? The league did. We ain't gonna let Jaylen Brown be on first team All NBA. And first we're gonna rob him of that, and we're gonna rob him of the MVP, and we're gonna say the coach is the coach of the year. And that's bullshit. That man was not the coach of the year. If you watched Boston, he was not doing nothing special. He wasn't doing shit special. And to be honest with you, the coach of the year was Charles Lee, which I'll probably put at number 2. But San Antonio Spurs coach was the coach of the year. He simply was. He was beating OKC during the season.
I think probably they gave that. I would say, I don't know, man. That's kind of close. And the reason why I say that is because Tatum wasn't there and they was whooping ass. You know what I'm saying? Well, you think they was gonna fall off, but then again, you got the motherfuckers that's sleeping on Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown was whooping ass. Jaylen Brown, Cater, that boy Cater, that center they got, he's a dog. And some of their wings was hitting shots. That's it. That's all that was down. It wasn't nothing else like that. Derek White wasn't scoring like that. Derek White is really good on defense, though. Derek White is a dog on defense. But he wasn't hitting shots like that. Jaylen Brown was. Go look what he was doing every night. Jaylen Brown had 10 straight 30s, 9 straight 30s. He almost got the 10th, but he had to skip a day. And then the 11th game, he got 30 again. That was in the month of December. They robbed him of the Eastern Conference Player of the Month. So then they gave it to him in January because he had to win it back to back. Man, that's the type of shit was going on in the league last year, bro. The politics that was
Right.
going on. But still,
What y'all talking about?
what we're talking about is we
Talking
cannot
about a
find the
lot of shit.
value for LaMelo Ball. Help me find the value for LaMelo Ball and from other teams. What would you give up for LaMelo Ball?
I mean, again, like I said, it's first of all the salary's got to match.
Charlotte can take on a little bit more than what other people can get, what other people can take. You feel me? The reason why is because Charlotte got a lot of cap space. They got a lot of
Let
So
me.
room.
I
what
got
team
one.
y'all?
Then what about since we was talking about him, I doubt that do this because it's debatable who you think that's better anyway. But say Boston.
Who?
Okay, Jason Tatum. Maybe you got to throw him in there. I don't know.
Who
They
y'all
would
talking?
take
What team you
they
talking
would
about?
take Jason
Boston?
Tatum.
Him going to Boston?
They would take Jason Tatum, but Boston ain't giving up Jason Tatum. They would take Jason Tatum. Why would I give up LaMelo Ball for Jason Tatum after Jason Tatum come back from a torn Achilles?
I need to get rid of that. Can
Because
you hear
maybe they
me?
feel like shit. They can win it with Tatum. Shit, Tatum looked good. They got to keep it a buck though, bro. Tatum looked good when he came back.
But
He looked good.
Yeah, his numbers did, but the game didn't. The game was fucking up them winning.
I can't hear what's the name? I can hear Unstoppable.
I don't know what that's about. What am I echoing? Try now. Can you hear me now? Chat, can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I know they
I don't
trying
know.
to trade Brown, bro. But again, I think Boston is going to make the biggest mistake by trading Brown. I think I've always said Brown is better than Tatum. I don't care what nobody says.
I don't know the value for LaMelo, but how about the possibility of JB
He's
for
definitely
LaMelo?
better. And
Can y'all hear me?
like I said, they dropped the ball. They should have traded Tatum for Giannis.
Hold on. What you
Can
said?
y'all hear me?
I can
Yeah,
hear
I
you.
can hear you.
I can hear you as well. Can you hear me?
I
She
need
can't
some
hear me.
water.
Okay, what you said? You said JB for Melo?
Yes.
No. I said Tatum.
I think that I think Charlotte can get JB without giving up Melo.
I don't think they can because they
I
need
did it
someone
last
in
night.
return.
I did
They
it
need
last
someone
night.
close to his value, and then Charlotte wants someone close to LaMelo's value. So,
No, I
and
think
then that's
the
how it was a
way
place.
I think the way you do it is add the Pelicans involved, get somebody else involved, get Chicago involved or the Pelicans involved, then you can get it done. It's not even about the money because Charlotte can take on Jaylen Brown's contract with just giving up Miles Bridges and a whole bunch of draft picks and a couple other players, right? Charlotte can do that hypothetically. But will it be fair to Boston? Will Boston feel that all the holes that Jaylen Brown give you, you know what I'm saying, will patch up or whatever? And the answer is no. But the Pelicans can. So if the Pelicans give up Trey Hurd and what's that guy that came from the Wizards? The shooter. He was at Golden State.
I'm not.
What's his
You talking
name?
about Jordan Poole?
Yeah, Poole. If
I
you
don't
give
know
up
Jordan
why.
Poole.
so
I
like
don't
this
know why I
my
can't
thing.
hear what's the name?
I don't know why he tell her back out and come back in. But I don't know if he's gonna let her come back in. But long story short, what I would do, okay, Jordan Poole, Herb Jones, and Jordan Poole, Herb Jones, and Trey Murphy to Boston. Jaylen Brown come down to Charlotte. Then Charlotte was seeing a couple players like Liam McNeely up there to Boston, but they were seeing out. They were seeing the Pelicans players like Trey Mann, They would give them some first. They would give them some draft picks. They would give them think of some people. Green, Josh Green. Just think of people. Just throw them in there. Except for like, you know what I'm saying? Besides Brandon Miller, Knipple, and Lamelo, just send them all over there. Because what the problem with the Pelicans is they need draft picks, and they also like two-way players. Well, you get that with Josh Green, and you get send Derek White down there to the Pelicans, and that'll be a clean trade. And Charlotte will give up a lot of. What's up?
You got to ask yourself this though: is draft picks valuable how they used to be? Because because the reason why I say it is because how the draft they done changed the rules now. You just can't be a bad team and then get a high pick because they gonna penalize you. Basically, get penalized for that. So they bring value like they used to. So shit, is it really worth throwing in pick? Huh?
Well, the fact is the Pelicans are not gonna be winning for the next 4 seasons anyway. But at the same time, they don't have the draft picks. You saw they gave up the Hawks had their draft pick this year, right? So they made David Griffin messed it up before Joe Dumars even got there, and Joe Dumars is fixing it. So, but draft picks are always valuable because you can always trade that draft pick for a player, especially if you got cap space. Now you letting go Trey Murphy, Jordan Poole, and Herb Jones. You done freed up by like $60 million off of that. You done freed up about $60 million off of that. You know what I'm saying? So you got money to move around with that. Now you bring it back Derek White, Josh Green. Derek White is at 30, and then you got Josh Green, that's 44 because he had 14. And then you get a whole bunch of draft picks. You get Man is only at 8. Yeah, you got money to move around, to build around Zion some more. And really, it's not even Zion. You're really building around Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears. But all Charlotte get out of this is Jaylen Brown. Charlotte got a whole bunch of draft picks. What you going to do with them? You know what I'm saying? And those draft picks, you trade those draft picks, you can get a player for it. But going back to it, Jaylen Brown for Melo, that means Jaylen Brown coming down to Charlotte to be the point. He gonna be the point forward. The ball gonna go through him. It messes up the chemistry too. That's win now mode.
I mean, how was that? If you still got White,
huh? That was time there.
You still got Kobe White.
That was time this year. Kobe White was a shooting guard, bro, for Charlotte. When he came down to Charlotte, he was playing shooting guard a lot. Him and Melo played together a lot. That's how we end up winning games. Who was that we beat that overtime game? Man?
I mean, I just said that because you said Kobe was playing point with Melo.
He was playing.
Maybe I misheard.
The thing is, Melo can always have a smaller point guard. Even though Kobe's 6'4", 6'5", you know what I'm saying? Melo can always have a smaller shooting guard next to him because he's 6'7", 6'8". He really 6'8", bro. Melo a tall dude, dog. He really 6'8". He's shaving his own height. He really 6'8". But he when you have a Melo really the size of a wing or three or 2. And he playing point like that and moving the way he moved. That's crazy in his own right. But you bring Jaylen Brown down there, he gonna be point forward. Because Jaylen Brown is the point forward. Derek White don't touch that ball. Derek White don't bring that ball down there. Pritchard might. Pritchard could dribble.
I tell you what, I'd rather Melo stay where he's at, and they use the draft capital they got, bring somebody there.
Oh no, but like I said, man, I think all this is just for clip. Get people talking about something, man. Since the NBA, the games is over with, man. Charlotte is stupid. to go through all that building chemistry or whatnot to say, all right, we looking to trade him. You know what I'm saying? I think that's some BS.
Neat. Yesterday,
I'll be
last night,
shocked if Melo get traded.
was it last night you had dropped the $5 super chat and talked about Melo being moved?
Yes.
Yeah, that wasn't big. Excuse me.
That's
No, that wasn't me.
pathetic as hell, bro. Like, she just said this last night. And I
was not expecting this news today at all. It's nice. It's everywhere on YouTube. Like, oh, he's being shopped around. That's a shock to me. I was just saying, you know what? I'm looking at this video, but what if he had went to the Warriors? What if
I can't hear you say it again, bro.
What if he had went to the Warriors? And I think if
I can't hear you, bro. You sound bad.
That's got to be you, because me and her hear each other well. How about now?
Nah, I can hear you. Whatever that noise was.
Well, she was saying that what if he went to the Warriors? And my standpoint was the Warriors had already had a chance to get him.
Hey, I was just about to say the Warriors should have drafted his ass and not Wiseman.
Yeah,
which I don't know why they did that. That was
and he's not even in the league no more.
Right. Yeah, I bet if they could turn back the hands of time, they would have got Melo.
Hey, they would have won made a championship.
Yeah.
It's possible that they could find a way to, like, they had to use somebody's salary, dump like somebody's salary over to Charlotte, and whoever goes to Charlotte just take a buyout to go back to wherever you want to go. Yeah. But bring him to the Warriors so he can play with Curry, and then see if they can actually win that title if they really want to push for it. But
they have nobody I would want. They would have nobody I would want, because Draymond is somebody who I would want, but Musa showed up. If you can teach Musa how to play like Draymond on the offense, that'd be crazy. You know what I'm saying? But Musa's got that. He got that locked down. That big guy who can protect the rim and rebound and all that stuff, and guard smaller power forwards and smaller centers and stuff like that. Musa got that locked up. So that's it right there, right? So when you talk about Steph ain't gonna get moved. Steph ain't gonna get moved, bro. It's not happening. You know what I'm saying? That's happened. Like, he's there at Golden State for the rest of his life, right? Even though he's from North Carolina. Kuminga gone. That's the one player I would have took, but he's gone. Kuminga in Atlanta.
Oh, they dropped the ball with Kuminga.
That's on them. Because Steve Kerr don't know how to do it.
I would have traded. Draymond ass would have been out of there.
We about to pull back up. Y'all don't got to leave. Y'all can stay in the head.
I'm saying I would have chose Kuminga over Draymond. Well, because it wasn't a money thing. So I take that back.